Visualization is a really powerful practice that a lot of people get it wrong. Um, I know that there are plenty of people out there that subscribe to manifesting the ideas that were put out there by a show called The Secret. And those are well and good. And I'm not disparaging any of those people. But the problem is that people often get visualization wrong because if you go into it with the wrong mindset, with the wrong intent and purpose, it has a tendency to backfire. Not because of some grand plan or that the universe isn't going to accept your vibrations or anything, but from a very real neuroscience perspective, visualization is incredibly powerful. And I find that when people have a difficult time understanding the label or how or why something works, people will start to put these kind of gray, globulous definitions on things, like just the universe and vibrations. And again, not disparaging any of them, but neuroscience has actually proven why visualization works so well and why people who really believe in manifesting, why it seems to work for them. Now, one of the things that I cover in my program, the Accountability Success Engine, the powerful tool of visualization. If you have a side hustle or a business, or maybe you're wearing an entrepreneurial hat while you're trying to work your regular 9 to 5 job, um, you're probably running into regular resistance, distractions, hurdles, objections, things that are getting in the way between you and you reaching your ultimate goal. Because we know that when you vividly use visualization to imagine a scenario, your brain doesn't know the difference between a made up scenario and real life. The neuron pathways are exactly the same. When I was quite young, I was in a karate school called Inshin, and this was back in the 90s, forgive me. But I remember that there was a gentleman from Japan. Not that that's particularly special, it's just where he was from was really rural, and he didn't have a typical karate school or dojo. And so when he came to the tournament that we held in Denver, his thing was that he didn't have nearly the same number of hours of mat time as the rest of us did. But he was a really big advocate of the mental rehearsal and visualization. He knew the moves, he knew the techniques, and he practiced them. But because he didn't have a proper dojo, he probably had hundreds and hundreds of hours of just visualization techniques on top of his, regular routine and practice. Me at my school, we had more hands-on experience, but this guy was leaps and bounds ahead of us with regards to visualization techniques. Well, at the time, we were all pretty young, and we were thinking, okay, cool, but I mean, you have to have on the mat experience. But surprisingly, that guy made it to the finals. He didn't win. There's no Rocky story here or anything, but he was surprisingly good. And then later in my adult life, when I learned more about visualization and how it works, you're able to create even something as delicate as muscle memory if you're using the proper visualization techniques. So, as I mentioned before, in the course that I offer for entrepreneurs and side hustlers, if you're running into resistances and you're having a difficult time with overcoming these obstacles, staying consistent on a regular basis, if it seems like no matter which way you turn, there's always a stumbling block in your way, I highly recommend that you use visualization to try to overcome some of those roadblocks that you run into. In my program, I dedicate an entire week to learning the skill and then implementing it into your daily practice. But let me go over some of the key points here. Um, a lot of this you may have already heard, but with the idea here is we're not wishing for something from the universe. This is going to be something more of a mental rehearsal. Now, one of the most common problems that any entrepreneur, side hustler, content creator, writer, one of the most difficult things for us is to get started. You know what it is that you need to do. You may have even blocked off time on your calendar to do it, but you need to just sit down and actually put pen to paper or pull up the keyboard and actually start doing the thing that you told yourself that you're going to do. But for some reason, every time you sit down to do it, you get distracted. Something happens. Some alert on your phone distracts you, or maybe there's an emergency, or somebody from your family. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be something that comes up, and a lot of it might be legitimate life distractions that feel like they're out of your control. So let's take this moment, and the idea here is that you're going to set aside in the beginning, if this is going to be your first time, just 2 minutes. Now, ideally, you're going to work up to a lot more, say 10, 15, and then advanced people usually go all the way up to 20 minutes. You don't really need to do more than 20 minutes. That'll probably become more evident as we go through the process here, because the idea is that we are going to play out the scenario the way you want it to play out. And we're even going to take into consideration if some of these roadblocks might pop up, exactly how you'll handle it. If you have a plan in place beforehand for when these types of things come up, then when they come up, they're not going to sideblind you. You're going to be able to instantly move and counter move so that you will be able to ultimately reach your goal without being distracted because you'll have a plan in place. So, whatever it is that you find yourself whenever you're trying to do something and it seems like something always gets in the way, let's go ahead and take a minute and let's focus on exactly what that is. Again, 2 minutes to start, and what you're going to do is get a quiet place. Maybe this is first thing in the morning, maybe it's just before bed. Maybe the only quiet alone time you can get is in the bathroom. I totally get it. And you know what? That's fine. We'll take it where we can get it, right? So close your eyes, take a deep breath. The idea here is we're just trying to relax the muscles so that your mind can focus on the imagery that you're going to put together. What is the task that seems to always come up but you get distracted from? So let's say it's you want to be a content creator, and the first thing that you need to do is ideation, or maybe it's you've already got the ideas but you need to write the scripts, or maybe it's that you just need to create the videos themselves, or whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's a blog post. So imagine yourself in your workspace, wherever that is. If it's your laptop on the couch, or maybe it's your office at work, it doesn't matter. Picture yourself there, and picture yourself in such detail that you can hear everything that's going on in the room during that time. Is there a clock on the wall that ticks that you've noticed that you can hear? Hear that clock ticking now. Are there any smells in the air? Does somebody have a coffee pot going usually? Can you smell coffee in the air? Or did somebody bring donuts? Or maybe there's just the room that you work in has a particular smell that you're used to, whatever that might be. Imagine that you can smell the smell, you can hear the sounds. And now, just like you're watching a movie, in as much detail as you can, picture yourself starting. So, for the example, we'll say that you're sitting at a desk at your workplace. And what you need to do is maybe you need to start returning some sales calls or something, but something always comes up. So, in this visualization, you're seeing, you're smelling, you're hearing. Reach out, touch the keyboard. You can feel the keys. Are they rough? Are they smooth? What kind of keyboard is it? Everything comes into crystal clear detail as much as you can. But we're not going to focus too much on the detail. We want to be as detailed as possible, but we don't want to get lost in the details. Take a look at your desk real quick. What types of things do you have on there? Do you have any pictures, a cup holder, an in and out basket, that kind of thing? Is it messy? Is it clean? Now, let's focus on the monitor, or let's focus on specifically the first task that you need to do. Put your hands on the keyboard and just simply imagine you use the mouse, you click on the program, you open the program calmly, intentionally. Nothing interrupts you. The phone doesn't ring, there's no notifications, nobody's knocking on the door, nobody's calling for you. You just reach down, you grab the mouse, you move it, you click, you open up the program, you bring up the list, you start reviewing the names, and then you pick up the phone and you make the first phone call. That's it. You dial the numbers, you make the call, you say, that's as far as we need to go. Just do this for 2 minutes. Play out the scenario in a picture perfect type of way where there's no distractions. Just, it's going to be boring, is my point. It's going to be boring, and that's a good thing. The idea is that we want to introduce to your brain the right way we want and expect for this to happen. It's going to be a boring routine, which in this instance is ideal, right? You're just going to get started calmly, purposefully. Do this every day. Start for 2 minutes. Play the entire scene in your mind vividly. And then, as soon as you reach the end of the scene and you start doing the actual task without any kind of distraction, stop. You don't need to go further than that. Not for this session, anyway. Simply take a moment, take a breath, and then start over with the exact same visualization. Now, maybe in the next visualization, the idea is you're going to do the same task, but this time, let's pretend it's on a different day. Does that matter as far as what your environment looks like? Are there different smells? Is there a meeting that's going on that you can overhear? Are the placement on the things on your desk going to be different? That's okay. Imagine seeing those things in vivid, crystal clear detail, and then just get started. Use your mouse, use your keyboard, open the program, get things started, pick up the phone, make the first phone call. Do this over and over again, slowly, calmly, intentionally for 2 minutes, and then do it every day for a week. At the end of the week, take a break over the weekend. Give your brain some time to kind of digest what you've been working on for this entire. Next week, we're going to introduce something new. Imagine when you do the visualization, up it from, say, 2 minutes to, but then this time you're going to add one single wrinkle. Make it a common wrinkle, something that comes up for you that is easy for you to overcome. For example, maybe your cell phone dings with a notification that you got a new email or a new instant message or something like that. How are you going to handle that? What's the right move for you? Now, I'm anticipating that the right move here is that you need to ignore the notification. You hear it, and then you pay no mind to it. You just move on. You move forward. This is the time that you're using during this visualization technique that you are practicing doing the thing without the interruption. You got the stimulus from the phone, and now you're actively ignoring it. You've imagined that it's something that normally you would grab it and you would check your phone, look at the notification, you'd swipe it, then put it right back down. We're not doing that. We're ignoring the phone. You're focusing on the screen, and then you're going through the steps. Do this 2 or 3 times. Again, just for 3 minutes, get to the end, start. You're going to find that this is going to do several things for you. One, it's a type of meditation, which is actually really healthy for your brain anyway. It helps increase focus, it helps lower cortisol. There's honestly a whole shopping list of things that it does beneficial for your physical body, but also for your mental state as well. And now that you have this routine and this practice in your mind, you will find that the next time that you actually have to do the thing that you've been visualizing, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do. And then it's going to come up that you try to do the thing and then you get a notification on your phone. Well, you've literally practiced for that. Your brain knows exactly what to do. It knows what it feels like to completely ignore the phone. Better yet, you can make part of the visualization technique before you get started. You silence your phone. Make that the thing that you do or part of the routine for you to get started. The idea here, again, to grow, gradual. Don't take it all on at once. Don't try to have this great big visualization fantasy where you're some kind of, office superhero and you're doing everything effortlessly all the time, always. It doesn't work. Start small, start with the most basic of distractions. Visualize yourself overcoming those things, and then give that a try. And if this is something that you've done before or you have experience with, let me know how it works for you. What types of obstacles have you run into before for yourself? I'd love to hear about it. But if you'd like to know more about my particular program, please subscribe because I'm going to give you more insights into the tools that you need so that you can hold yourself accountable, give yourself the kind of discipline and consistency that you need so that whatever your endeavor is, you can count on yourself to be successful. I'm Robert. Thanks for watching.